Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned in to On the Real, where we keep you up to date in the latest in the world of TV and movies. And joining me today are two of my favorite people in the whole world, Mr. LeVar Johnson, my brother from the same mother, and Mr. TKO Kirkland Asante. How are you
going on, people?
Fine gentlemen doing today?
Hello out there in TV land.
Oh, just enjoying enjoying the movies and the TVs and all the fun stuff coming. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. We're going to do something fun today because I did not tell either of these gentlemen what we were going to be talking about. So we're doing it live, baby.
Doing it live, damn it.
All right. By the way, I just want to thank everybody that shares this. If you're here, just kind of share this out. Last week was our highest viewed episode, so I thank everyone for that. Appreciate it. We hit the triple digits. So let's get this show on the road
with the cup.
What are we watching this week, people?
We're watching the new.
No, that is actually a topic for later.
How would I know that? You didn't tell me the topic.
That's right. You snuck up everything on everybody.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What have you been watching?
Final Space.
Tell us about that. I have no idea what it is.
Final Space is this great show about this character named Gary and Mooncake and his whole band of cohorts. And they travel through space and time trying to save the whole universe. And they're against this guy called the Lord Commander, and there's titans and kaiju in it, giants fighting and like murder, and
this is one of those situations where the shows is now canceled, and now you're gonna get people gonna jump on it.
Yeah, they just canceled it, but I was already watching it, so I was sad to see it go. You know?
Okay.
Is this one of those Netflix saves potentials, or
no? It's already on Netflix, right?
No, it's on Hulu. But
I see. Oh no, Netflix can't save that.
That's
you
right.
You can't give Disney no amount of money.
No, they ain't gonna do it.
It's
done.
Yeah, it's dead and gone. Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. K. Asante, what have you been watching this week, sir?
Oh, I actually watched a few different things this week. Have y'all heard of? You probably seen it because I think it's the number 1 or number 2 movie on Netflix now. Kate.
That is actually on my list of things to watch. Okay. And I thought I confused this movie because there's terrible.
Another movie that's close to
exactly something milkshake, Gunpowder Milkshake.
Gunpowder Milkshake. That is the worst version of this film.
Yes, that is a terrible movie.
Yes, this movie, Kate, is the closest they have gotten to giving you that John Wick magic on a Netflix budget. The closest. And you know how I say that?
What does on a Netflix budget mean? I'm sensing
because you know
all the money.
No. It's not slanderous, but you can tell where
billions of dollars.
So let me set the stage, all right? If you guys remember that emancipation of one what's her face name?
Yes, Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn. One of the things that came out of that film, well, two, was one what's her face I'm losing names again. Margot Robbie, yeah, she did a great job. And her 2 co-stars needed their own show because supposedly people really liked the characters that were like Huntress and Jerry Smollett, exactly. Huntress specifically stole the show and people were talking
about Smoulier.
That's
sister.
Yes.
Stop it. Anyway, so that never materialized because obviously that movie ended up being trash at the box office. So they really never really took any of that seriously. But Elizabeth Winstead, I think that's her name, Elizabeth Winstead. Yeah, big fan of her work. She's done great movies, even in movies that she's not good. Even movies that are not good, she is good in. So usually when I hear she's in a film, I will give that a chance. She's playing the lead vehicle on this right here, and she was Huntress. So this is literally them giving her another Huntress role. It's literally Huntress, like Huntress, and it's very, very John Wick. It's very, very, what's that movie that Jason Statham made where he had X amount of years time to live? It went too far. Crank. There you go. It's got hints of Crank because she has a time clock similar. You should watch it. There's twists and turns.
1,000% gonna watch it. It's on
you
my
will
list.
see the Netflix budget, meaning it doesn't go as far as you'd want it to go. It's not as bombastic, but they use everything they have to its fullest ability, and it's quite good, like very good. She does a great job. I hope there's another one of these things. So I watched that this week. I tried to watch Malignant, but bruh, I'm sorry.
That's actually one of our topics, so I hope you
I'm
got
sorry.
through it. No,
I watched
no.
about
Now, you
60%
can't not
of
tell
that
people
movie.
The topics and say that's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of
If
our
you don't tell
topics.
nobody the topics,
All
then
right,
what you
don't
gonna
worry,
do?
we're gonna-
All I'll tell you is
Malignant is a topic.
okay. We'll get back to Malignant. Okay. And
know
the
what?
last
It's
thing.
all and that shit between y'all.
No.
All right.
The last
you
thing
know
I
what?
watched, which
Okay.
I will say, the very last thing I watched, which everyone will clown me for, but I watched it. I finished. I didn't even want to give it a chance, and then something told me to just watch an episode of what was it called, Shadow and Bone,
Oh my god.
Netflix Shadow and Bone. I watched the whole season.
Isn't that like hey man, what's happening? Sycamore. I told him I always think
What's
of the
going on,
the Lady Saw song. When
Yeah, I know the
see
song.
Poetry.
I know the song. Yes.
All right, so
You asked
no, let's go right into the
Mhm.
Malignant review. But to answer your question,
Okay.
Sycamore, we are not talking about the Netflix Japan film because I don't know what that is. So somebody tell me, and maybe I know about it and don't realize what we're talking about. But Malignant review. So LeVar, I know you did not watch this, but you are not missing much. But we are about to spoil this movie. So go ahead.
I will
Tell me what
warn
you
you.
thought.
I will warn you. I was only able to sit through 60% of this film. I will eventually go back. But what I will tell you, for the fine people who may not have seen this film, okay,
The lucky
understand what you're getting yourself into. And I got it literally 2 frames into the damn picture. Oh, you mean Kate? Yeah,
Okay,
it is. That film is all made in Japan. It is
Okay, I get it. Makes sense.
top.
Makes sense.
It's very good. Yeah, very Yakuza heavy. Anyway, so the movie, what do you call it? Malignant. It starts off with for those who are of a certain age. I was saying this to Everborn in the background there. Remember when ABC when USA channel used to be an actual like a weird network and didn't try to make their own shows, and they like at night, this is the 90s and early 80s, they used to put on like really weird psychotic freaking movies that nobody should be watching, things like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and
Yeah.
and the Toxic Avenger.
No. But
This is of that ilk.
if you go on Amazon now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but if you there's like a what's that? What is it? Shudder, that horror
Horror
service. There's a horror movie about a killer anything. You could do like Killer Couch. Like, do it right now. Like, just go to Amazon and say Killer Couch movie, and then there's a killer.
Of course,
like
yes,
Killer
yes.
Umbrella, Killer Pinata. But anyway, Malignant is a throwback to the sort of kind of grindhouse horror.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
There's even
really,
grindhouse actors in it.
right?
There
And
are
it
old
is
grindhouse actors in it
it's
currently. Yeah.
really over the top, and when you from the first 10 minutes you turn that movie on, you know it is not taking itself seriously.
But can I tell you something about
Like
that though?
delivering one-liners. Go
Yeah.
tell me about it.
This is my problem with it. Okay, all those other films did it sincerely, and it was hilarious and ridiculous. Right? They did it with, obviously they weren't being like, we're going for Oscar worthy. Right? That's never been part of the mental gymnastics when they're doing it. But the films were earnest in their approach. This film, from jump, because of the money that's on the screen, looks so artificial. Everything that's wrong looks staged there on purpose, and because of that, I kind of resent it a little bit, because those other films they have a charm because the ridiculousness is within the budget, and they're just throwing something on the screen. You can see the dude in the suit. That's the kind of thing those movies evoke.
You see the mic.
This is like
in the top of the screen.
Exactly. That's what this is about, right? But this is like millions of dollars spent to emulate this genre, which, because you're spending that millions and you see the screen and all the great technology and equipment used, when they purposely give you bad lighting, it looks malicious rather than endearing. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were going to say rather than Malignant. I'm sorry.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the bad stuff in those movies are charming. It's the charming cruft because we know what we're in for. These guys are purposely, like you could say they're paying homage, but the money and it's just
yeah.
a little.
Wonder,
I don't know.
Like if you told me this was a $6 million Blumhouse film, cool. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Exactly.
But when you hear that the budget on this thing
double
is like
digits,
$40 million,
that's right.
Which, be clear, James Wan warrants a $40 million budget.
Oh no doubt.
And I love the idea that he has kind of ushered us back into the mid-budget film, and his movies, like the whole Conjuring series.
Gerald Mack in the chat.
What's happening? But like the Conjuring movies, it warrants it. But this and all the spin-offs that he's been a part of all have been great. So when he says, I want $40 million to make a movie, you give it to him. In this case, he was making purposefully a B horror movie, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Remember Grindhouse of its day? Remember Grindhouse where what's his name? The two actors came together, made the great Tarantino and I forget the other director. That was also double digit figure like production, but
you had an all-star cast in there.
Exactly, but even that, the choices they made there were in service of the story and of the genre and all of that, and we get that. It's almost like, and I can't really like vocalize it the way I want to, but it's almost like that one was paying homage, whereas this one, Roger Rodriguez, there we go. Whereas this one specifically is kind of thumbing its nose at that genre a little. We can do it. Look at all the money we're throwing at it. Yeah. Whereas this director deserves all the money he gets, but we want to see him use that money to make what he makes rather than.
Here's the thing. I think this was James Wan's first miss.
I agree.
Look, if you go back and look at his filmography, he never misses.
This is
yeah.
When this won't even miss, I don't think, because a lot of people are liking it, even if they're watching it as a garbage truck on fire. People are watching it.
We've actually not really spoiled it, other than telling you it's a spoiled movie. But I think that when the twist comes, that's the reason people like it. But when you see what the twist is. Like, I stood up and was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
So spoil it. Go ahead.
What? I want. All right.
No wonder you get D's and everything.
Chat. Tell me if you want me to spoil it.
Anyone's listening. If you want to hear it, because it's one of those things where
if I get three spoilets, we will talk about it, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
but this is one of those movies where the journey is just as like impactful as the destination. So even if impactful, whether it's good impact or bad impact, that's up to you.
All right.
We got one spoiler.
All right. We got one spoiler.
We got two.
Neo saying
Neo's gonna mute himself.
Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm not even gonna say what it is. I didn't get three. I should have got three by now. Neo, you don't have to mute it. Listen.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Go ahead.
It is completely ridiculous, and you see it coming from a mile away, right?
It starts at ridiculous and goes up from there. It really does. That beginning frame, you're just like, get me out of here. What is this?
When it happens, it like, I don't normally use the word.
Oh, you got the third spoiler. There you go.
I did get the third spoiler. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Like, it is a monster that is a tumor growing out of the back of her head that can open through her skull, that they cut off, and they did the whole stupid puppet animatronics of the arms. Like, what?
Yeah, it went way too far. Way too far.
Actual F are we doing? Right? Yep. And then they do a whole kung fu action scene in the jail. Right? No one who's acting in it can be taken seriously. This is at least, right? You know what this reminds me of? Did you see the latest Saw movie? This is not even a B movie.
You mean the Chris Rock Saw?
And
I could not bring myself to watch it. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. I couldn't.
So
I like Chris Rock too much to bring myself to watch that.
No, listen, it was enjoyable enough to watch Sam Jackson
in spite of Chris Rock.
Right? No, the movie's terrible, but I'm saying you're watching it for them and you're watching them interact with each other. But
I'll eventually watch it. I'll watch any Sam Jackson movie. So
right. So and he plays Chris Rock's father, which is weird.
Which is really weird.
I mean, it holds up, though, right? Well, no, because Sam Jackson is what 70 years old and Chris Rock is 50,
and he's in his 50s.
Well, close enough.
Let's just move on.
I had my son at 19. What are you gonna
Black
do?
Don't Crack. Keep it moving.
Exactly. Right. But so the thing is, at least that was enjoyable because you had talent in the movie. Right, like you can watch it for them, even though it's a B movie, even though none of it makes sense.
This one has like, you remember that lady from? Was she from? Oh, that's the mom from Smallville.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh, yeah, I remember her. There was nobody in it that was worth watching.
Right, so none of it made sense. Logically, it didn't make sense. How could they afford that big mansion of a house if she's a nurse with an alcoholic boyfriend?
Yep, indeed. Who gets his neck broken like 2 minutes into the damn movie.
Oh my god.
It was very stupid. It was very stupid.
I give the movie a 3 out of 10. That's my score.
And depending on if you like bad movies, this might be up your alley. But it's
But it's not even so bad that it's good.
No, you're right.
That's
it's not.
thing.
Kate is bad that it's good. Like, well, no, it's actually pretty good. There are bad movies that are bad enough that they're good. This is. Yeah, I hear you. But everybody kept pushing to watch this thing. Are we bringing sound boys?
I love it, man.
Let's do that.
All right.
R.I.P.
Yes.
Norm Macdonald.
Yeah,
that was one of his movies.
Yeah, man. And Joe Smith says, would we have the same complaint if it was a Nick Cage movie? No, because this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Because then Nick would be entertaining, at least.
Exactly. And even the people in his movie, it's like they take it being a B movie seriously. Yep. Right? And his B movies just work. If Nick Cage was in
this B movie lacks commitment. It lacks commitment and it has too much money. That's its problem. He
should have been, if he was the cop, and then they had that fake Wanda Sykes. Did you notice that? Okay.
Man.
All right.
We need to move on. This movie was trash.
Moving on. All right. So this is
you made me watch it.
This is what we all came. It was a James Wan horror movie that
true.
He didn't do The Conjuring 3 to do this, and I went into it like, this is worth skipping Conjuring 3 for.
So Neo Mental's so on point. Nick Cage is a B movie. He represents the B movie.
Don't disrespect my guy Nick Cage.
I mean that in the best way. The best way.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on,
like he owns that, right? And he does it with class and dignity
and style. That's right.
All right. So now I want to talk about What If Episode 6. This is probably going to take up the most of our time.
I have seen this episode at least 3 times.
All right, talk about it. I've seen it once.
Best episode ever?
I have a complaint about it.
It's too short.
It's not only that it's too short.
Yeah,
let's go through it. We'll come to the
cliffhanger that it ends on.
That's not even a cliffhanger. It just ended in the middle of the movie. It just stopped.
It's not that it's too short. It just points out this specific episode more than most point out that these should have been longer ideas that really were fleshed out, not this.
I'm pretty sure they're going to revisit all this stuff in season 2.
See, and that to me, as good as that is,
that's kind of
as good as that is, it's also very, very disappointing because then you got to wait like how many years? A year, 2 years?
You still finna watch it?
Yeah, but you can't complete a thought, right? Like,
no.
This is the
that's
problem.
Unfortunate.
if you end it in the middle of the episode, right? Because that's really what happened. There was no resolution. They basically ended
it ended on a cliffhanger, as if there would be the next episode, which would bring it back down. But of course, we don't know if the next episode will or not.
I think of things as in terms of a 3-act structure.
Him at least kill.
And this ended at the end of Act 2.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I expected him to kill T'Challa's father because just to get that out the way. I expected at least the war to go to like in Black Panther when he was supposed to go to war with America.
But this is what I'm saying. Narratively, it is broken, right?
Yeah.
It is it's amazing setup. Right,
and then they go like that roller coaster ride goes all the way to the top, and then
it was
like next time.
You get a half hour, whatever story we gonna tell, we cutting it off right there.
That's right.
Regardless of, however, it's still. Why is it that Tony gets the shaft in every universe? Why does he die in every?
Because he ain't want to come back. That's why.
Yeah. Every universe, Tony died. He can't never have a happy ending. I mean, at least. In the other universe with the snap, he had a daughter, so at least he got his little piece of happiness. But it's just they're like, damn, man, he always got to get murked.
Indeed.
I mean, that's the hero's journey, though, right?
The whole thing with the best thing about this was Black Panther's mom, Angela Bassett. Oh my God! Like
they gave it to her.
See her, if I could see her do that in a movie. Oh,
yes,
man.
That's the point. They gave it to her because I'm sure she's just like, come on now. Am I just window dressing? They're like, yep, here you go. Do something. And they gave it to her.
Did you not know how the women of Wakanda get down?
That's right. Hey, speak of that. There you go.
This is the third time we're seeing Chadwick or hearing Chadwick.
That's right.
Not to, but this is the third time we're hearing Chadwick. And to see the funeral, it's just they're like, damn, man, I felt that.
And then you see him. Then you see him in the other on the plane, and he comes out, and the meta just drove me wild. Like the meta narrative about it all.
I'll tell you what, though, one thing about this episode, like when you watch the Black Panther 2018 movie, you're like, yo, Killmonger might have been right. I'm rooting for Killmonger. It's sad that he died. In this one,
fuck Killmonger, nigga.
That's
exactly.
Right. That's right. But they squarely put him in the villain category in this one.
But still,
I mean, what does that say though when you think about it? What's the subcontext?
It takes a black director to give you that nuance that you're looking for. But if you give him to the standard fare, he is mustache twirly.
I mean,
straight up,
he's pretty much the same as he was in Black Panther. It played out different, but the same. Because he still became the Black Panther. T'Challa seemingly died, but he didn't die. But in this,
I think the narrative thread lent more nuance in both their directions in the film. Whereas this one, even though you're absolutely right, LeVar, he as a character was the same. He made the same type of choices you think he would have made.
Yeah.
But the narrative thread doesn't lean in his direction as much as Kruger led it. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever's directing here is like villain versus where in Kruger's land,
he was a villain
Ryan
in
Kruger's
the
land.
first one.
I know he was
a complex villain.
He was a complex villain. He was a villain you could root for because you understood where he was coming from.
Here it's like so many layers in 20
exactly. Minutes. So I can cut some slack here.
We already know. The other side of him and why he did it because we saw Black Panther. So it's still the same.
What was the thrill is we came in with the knowledge. If you didn't come in with the knowledge and you're just watching this from jump, he's very one note.
But it's just he's still the same Killmonger. It's just that we don't need all that exposition and for him to repeat those
because
lines
they know that you know what you're watching when you get there. That's right.
Yeah,
$1.3 billion. Everybody saw it. But the point that I'm trying to make is. It was clear they were, and I know like it tracks with the character we got in the movie. And it's great that they got Michael B. Jordan to come back and do the voice because some of these other actors is acting too Hollywood.
Indeed.
But they had the whole cast really, most of them,
except for Shuri.
Except for Shuri and except for Shuri and except for, come on now, Iron Man.
Well, of course
I'm just talking about the people from Wakanda.
Yeah, but
of course, Iron Man.
Okay,
but talking about the Wakandans.
But my thing is
even the Pops came back. I'm pretty sure that.
Now, why is Shuri so damn young in that? Like she
because
should be
this
older.
is 2008.
Okay. So this is before
that tracks.
certain events
That
took place.
tracks.
That does track. Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Okay, continue.
But here's the thing. Tinfoil hat time, right?
Oh, he's already wearing it. Let's do
Right.
it. You got to put some
Disney-
tinfoil hats under that thing.
Disney's history time, right? A lot of people came out of Black Panther thinking Killmonger was right. He has the right idea, right?
So now this time it's time to counteract that narrative.
They made him very empathetic in the live action movie, and the powers that be was like, not today. We're gonna show you that he's evil, so you don't get no ideas.
So you don't get get it twisted. No, this ain't your hero. He's a bad guy.
I mean, we'll see how the second half plays out, because in the first half of it, he killed T'Challa, he killed everybody. He killed Claw, he killed all of these innocent people. It's just that he just didn't kill his father yet. It's just that, like, in the old universe, he died how he died, but because this is in a different time period, he just didn't die yet.
I think this just shows the skill that Ryan Coogler has, because you are right, LeVar. He did all the same things in the movie, but you were still rooting for him in a way.
Yep.
I was never rooting for him. He was trash.
Well, okay. I will cut them a little bit of slack, because Coogler, as we've already defined, got a chance to really like flesh these characters out over time. These guys got to chop
Michael B. Jordan his whole life, so he
whole life. That's right. And these guys got to chop it up and get to the point in such a short amount of time. And they have so much material to work with. So
some of the nuance.
You do, yeah. You got to lose some of that nuance, yeah.
I felt like Michael B. Jordan was the weakest in the cast in that movie, with him just the way he delivered his lines, and just the screwing up his face, and I was just there like, he's not believable. I was just there like, okay, this is Michael B. Jordan. I mean, we needed a Tupac type figure, but the way he's delivering it just wasn't believable to me.
Yeah. Well, okay, I wouldn't say I didn't take it that far, but I hear your criticism. Yeah. I thought we needed a more passionate individual.
You're saying Michael B. Jordan didn't have the screen presence of the actors that he was around.
Yeah.
And because of their skill, it highlighted his potential shortcomings.
He was the weakest actor of the bunch to me.
You think so? Even among Shuri and all them, like still.
No, Shuri. I
feel like.
Ryan I know. I'm just like,
because that's his boy. He gave him the best lines, but the way he delivered them, it left me, wanting more.
I don't know.
The only line I will disagree with you on is the very last line. He delivered that well, I think. Yeah. But besides that, I see what you're saying. It was more a put on rather than really being there in the moment. I'll give you that. But that movie elevated so high that's a very small criticism to make. So yeah.
But that was me nitpicking.
But that was him
me just saying fuck Killmonger.
Go ahead.
That was him the whole movie in that Rainbow Six movie he did, right? What does
that tell you?
That was also him.
That's a deficient
really 451.
So does that tell you that it's just he fits that short, muscular dude with a good face?
I feel like he looks good. And he looks good, so they make him an action star and try to put him in stuff like that. But I don't feel he's.
I will say I have seen stuff from him that I've liked. Has he like wowed me with his acting chops? Not so far.
Not yet.
But that may be because he hasn't had that vehicle that really like stretches him to that place.
I mean, he's been in some stuff. He was in The Wire, when he was a kid.
True. That is true.
So
well, we shall see. He still has a good career. There's an opportunity for everybody.
He's not
a singer and a Britney Spears.
I'm just saying he's not great. To me, in the cast, he didn't make me suspend the disbelief.
Okay,
understood. He was in that show with Boss with Kelsey Grammer, I think, after The Wire. Maybe
I felt like he kind of was overdoing it. Too much. It wasn't subtle enough.
So let's
better in this. as a voice actor.
Like
Yeah.
Creed,
Let's
for
focus.
instance, like Apollo Creed. He did great in
No,
there.
no,
I
I
thought.
think he's.
But focus. Go ahead.
I think he was really good in Creed, and
Yeah, me
we've
too.
turned into on the Michael B. Jordan reel.
Yeah, because you got to go off the
Right.
rails, bro.
Okay,
That's what we do. On the rail goes off the rails.
Bringing it back in. Tell me
About
more
the show.
about. Yes.
It kind of plays out the same with Killmonger and him becoming the Black Panther, because he's the same way in the Black Panther movie he became the Black Panther, and then him trying to start a war with America, but he was going to use Wakandan technology, but then he got Tony to build robots for him.
Made though. There's criticism to be made a little bit there, because in the story, and again we've already prefaced it by saying that they had to cut a lot of stuff out because they have so much to do in short amount of time, but it seems like he was so on another level with his chess game that he drops a bug in somebody's ear and he knows 15 steps ahead what they will do, because they'll show up because I did this, and it was a little too much chess move playing there to like, all I had to do was just be here on time. And I knew that this reporter would ask me these questions, so I had this thing ready to go to show that Obadiah Stane was the
it got to be convenient.
Like, it was just too much, man.
Bro. You got to
but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I
you got to get from point A to point B.
I like the idea of him being a military tactician.
Very true. Yes. So I completely bought, but he just went real far with it. I thought. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Go ahead.
No, I thought it worked though. I thought the idea of saying that he was one step ahead of everybody, and really, the reporter brought up the idea that you were working with those guys, so he was tracking.
And he was like, "Boom, that's right."
Yeah.
No, but that was all planned, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and then
Neo's he was like, "Fuck Batman, watch this."
Exactly.
He wasn't one step ahead. He was like 15 in every.
No, but think about it.
Chess, bro.
I don't understand how he was able to stop
a quick,
the vibranium robot.
See, that's where I was gonna go. Here's a quick aside. Like when Tony catches him in the spot, right? Here's my issue on it.
Right there.
Exactly.
That was my problem.
You got a robot in there. You leave the vibranium thing in there, and vibranium is the most indestructible material. So literally, he can use that to pierce. Because remember, they're using the vibranium as the core power source. Their skin isn't made of it, so you can still penetrate it. And you leave it there, and you don't have a plan B, because when he has it in his hand, the very next thing he's going to do is kill you. But it's almost like everybody else was like, "Oh, I didn't know he could do that," and just let him run over everybody. That moment with him killing Tony Stark was ridiculous. That was totally not in keeping with what Tony Stark would have done.
Well,
because you got a monologue, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing. You could argue
what he would do, but Tony was smarter than that.
You could, and it also looked like he stabbed him in the shoulder, and I don't know how pushing it
like right here,
but they couldn't do that because that was Disney. That's Disney.
That's Disney. That's right.
But
that's right.
Again, I think he's able to do those things because every room he's in, people underestimate him, right?
Okay.
So when he met T'Challa just thought like, "Oh, cousin, I'm underestimating you. I could easily kill you." But he was already ready with the Wakanda tech, turned it up, popped his blood vessels, right? Same thing for Rhodey. Rhodey didn't think that. And then Tony thought, "Oh, I got the upper hand here. I could just use this robot." And because of Tony's own, he didn't go for the chest, basically. Tony, right? So, he didn't go for the head. He didn't go for the head.
That was the same technology that Obadiah Stane had when he went and did that thing when he paralyzed everybody in the Iron Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Same tech. Yep.
So that's really the thing, and
yes, I will go there with you and say they set it all up. He's a master tactician, knocks everybody down. Oh my God, this man is so brilliant. And then of course, what's her face, Pepper and Happy and Shuri are the only ones that saw him all the time.
Just when it's starting to pick up.
Yep.
Just when it's getting good, they halo to you. And peace out. See you in a couple of years.
So
there you go.
That just like in Black Panther, they had some heart-shaped herb stashed, and then they give it to T'Challa and bring him back. Why not, right?
Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
Because even in Black Panther, it's just he told Killmonger, like, we could heal you, you don't have to, but Killmonger wanted to die.
Yeah, but they could have froze his ass too, and
Yeah, they
actually
could still
not let
bring
him
him
die.
back.
Yeah, this is Marvel canon. They can bring it back in multiple ways.
They could retcon the shit out of this. But the thing is this: I wonder, right? Can Michael B. Jordan, does he have the chops to be a leading Marvel?
The next Black Panther in a new Black Panther movie one day.
And it also doesn't track. Like, I think you can bring him back and have him show up in other places in the MCU.
He can be Killmonger, yes.
But he can't be the Black Panther.
No, he cannot.
He
can be Killmonger the killer. He can't be Killmonger the guy who's reformed that is now the Black Panther. He can't go on that Winter Soldier journey. He can't do that.
He absolutely can't go.
Winter Soldier can be redeemed, right? No. If Loki can be redeemed,
no, I'm not saying that he can't be
redeemed.
It's
everybody can be redeemed.
It just doesn't track. I don't know. I expect he's delicious.
Tony Stark was responsible for killing, and he was redeemed.
But he's responsible for killing people the way America kills people in the legal.
Sometimes people gotta die. You gotta break some eggs, man.
Listen, I think. Joe Smith says Ryan Coogler ever made a movie without
I think so.
No, he hasn't. Never once. Go back and think about it.
That is interesting.
You're lucky Michael B. Jordan wasn't in Space Jam because he produced that.
But he produced that, yeah. Well, and Michael B. Jordan will be in.
Wait, Michael B. Jordan was in Space Jam?
Yes.
I didn't watch it. Oh,
there was a whole joke about it. They was just and then it's just
right.
Michael B. Jordan. It's just we needed Michael A. Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. That was the beginning. We needed Michael A. Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan. So he was in there for cameo. For sure.
Okay, so look at that. He's never done a movie without Michael B. Jordan.
That's his boy.
So does that mean that every time you see that Coogler's making a movie, you know that B. Jordan is going to be in there somewhere?
At least in a cameo.
Because have they officially announced that he's going to be in Black Panther 2? Have they announced that?
But they wouldn't announce that.
But he's going to be there. We know
surprise, mother effer.
Surprise.
No, but
even the flashbacks.
I could see him coming back as a wild card character.
Yeah.
That is morally ambiguous, and he can show up in some other movies as that wild card character. Yeah. Right, where we may have to work with him to do something, but he has his own.
Maybe he can go after the 10 rings, like for real.
That's what I'm saying.
The real 10 rings, the new 10 rings from Shang-Chi.
He'd be perfect on that. They allow in everybody. And the other thing is, it would take several films to redeem him. You can't just say in the next movie he's redeemed, but if he shows up, he has interests that are aligned over the course of 3-4 movies, he could be. Be that.
They also got Disney Plus now, right? So they could have a whole show that takes him on that journey. You know?
Yeah. How do you know they ain't been programming him while he's been in stasis or something like that, having him watch, cartoons and of dandelions and whatnot and flowers and showing him
Absolutely not.
I'm like, where's this man going with this?
The subtext of that would be so disrespectful. Ridiculous. It is like we're gonna deprogram the revolutionary out of you. What?
Hey man, they have reverse, shit that they did to the Winter
I don't think Coogler would be down with that. I don't think so.
No. Okay. So I want to highlight an issue with What If as a whole, and this kind of really highlights that issue. I think it is a problem that they are ending on these cliffhangers, and this is the worst offender. But really, none of these episodes have any resolution, and because they are not in the same universe that we've now confirmed,
they could never have a resolution. They could just be gone. They could be
unless you're gonna watch. You're gonna watch
always.
Right, and then
but you know that in the comic books where this comes from, that is also what happens. Sometimes it sets up this dystopia, and then we're done. That's the story. That universe is effed. Peace out, and then they move on to the main line.
That's fine. You don't have to come back to this, right? But what you should have is a normal story structure.
Yeah, they should
right?
have a resolution to some kind of this is where it ends instead of the we're gonna get them next time.
Okay.
Bye.
I think the Pepper Potts and Shuri thing was ham-fisted at the end.
Yeah.
There's different ways you could have done that it doesn't feel like there's a scene that's about to come up.
Yeah, I felt like, I thought there was definitely going to be a scene after that. I didn't expect it to end right there.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like I wanted more from the zombie thing because it's like, well, what's going to happen if Thanos has that? That is like a teaser of things that could come. But this was actually just cut off mid-episode, almost mid-sentence. And
so can I ask a question?
Same thing with Peter Quill and Ego, right? It keeps happening.
Have you guys seen a lot of these other Disney properties, these other Marvel, I should say, properties? They're for kids mainly, right? But they're like, there's a new Spider-Man, and it's made mainly for children. But you see it on Disney Plus. They have like a lot of their stars. They're priming you for that. You have your Miss Marvels in it. You have all these other characters. They are allowed to flesh those characters out. It's really made for a childhood audience. This show, this What If show, as much as I like it, my biggest criticism of it is the truncated nature of it because of the whole what if. Oh, we're threading the needle. Oh, we're giving you different views of the same prism, right? Don't you guys think that with the popularity of this show and how great the storytelling is, that it would warrant like its own pocket universe where they can breathe and really tell some weird what if stories? Not this truncated, hey, remember this show? What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Hey, solution, move on. 25 minutes.
Hey, we still watching it.
It should breathe, No, don't get me wrong. You can criticize something and still like it. I think it's great. No doubt.
The whole thing,
I'm eager to watch the next
whole
one.
thing is,
I just want them to like make a full show. That's right.
That's why
make a whole show.
It's so good because every episode we want more.
Well, because see, my problem is, I loved Captain Carter. That should be a show. I really, really liked T'Challa as Star-Lord. That should be its own little adventure. Couple shows. It doesn't have to be like 3 seasons. It could be maybe 5-6 episodes. They have something middle end.
So can I ask you a question? Do you guys still think that none of this is connected, or that it's not going to connect?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure where I stand is not everything will be connected. In other words, it's not like all of a sudden you're going to start seeing zombie Iron Man in real life walk up to you, but they will pick and choose when you see the films, you will see the ties that bind to those what ifs. Not all of them, but you will see them.
Still, because
I think Crazy Strange will be back. You'll see Crazy Doctor Strange.
Strange. I feel like
other things.
He's going to make the universes intersect. Yep. Because
I think he's going to be back.
Going to be the event that's going to make the Watcher.
I think Captain Carter will be back in some form or fashion. Some of their idea nuggets will be fully fleshed out in live action. Which I'm there for. I think it's going to be great to see that. But just as a guy who used to watch Saturday morning cartoons or cartoons when you get home from school and you used to like watch it like daily, and a lot of the stuff was trash, right? Like a lot of it was trash. Shout out to He-Man, which is back, which is actually pretty good. These shows need to, just like they spend, like there's a lot of that trash Marvel on TV now, on Netflix, on all these various shows where, a small version, a teen version of Spider-Man's on adventures, and he meets up with Spider-Gwen and meets up with Wolverine and meets up, they do all this stuff. America Ferrera, all these characters are being brought into the mix. They should spend a little less of that and flesh out these complicated stories more, because there is definitely an audience for it, both in the young and in the medium to older. I would love like a show like this. Not the truncated ones, Every episode is a different show. Or do you guys disagree? You don't think those nuggets can turn into whole things?
I feel like we'll see how it plays out in the second season, but I really feel like it's all going to connect and it's going to be fleshed out more. But it's like everything is a tease.
I don't know, how do they thread the zombie Avengers? How do they bring that to live action? Because you can't undo that. There's no cure for
Oh
Because if
man.
you introduce that, then they have to find a
If he
cure.
introduce what?
You know,
A cure
the
to
alien zombie thing that affects all the entire population
There
in that
is a cure
episode.
because they figured it out with what you call it, Ant-Man. Ant-Man was cured, but they had
cut off his entire body. He cut off his
Yeah.
head, he left him head. But that's not a
he
solution.
had them eating the body, but he cured it though. Vision figured out a way to cure it.
So there would be a way to cure it.
Conveniently killed himself because
Well, see, that's the reason why I'm thinking they might not go to all of these nuggets, because does the zombie universe thing, does it matter? It definitely does. It's canon. It's in the Marvel. There are comic books of it. But to bring that to live action I don't know how you resolve that, because that's a big shift, baby.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying bring it to live action. I'm just saying it's going to play out more on the show.
Oh, you mean on this specific show? Yeah. I can see more episodes of that specific show. Sure,
I'm just more worried that, like, there's two ways this could be going, right? It is sort of it's broken storytelling in that these cliffhangers are artificial, so they don't really serve narrative purpose, because there was
never a plan to
finish it, right? Or it's broken in the way that we're going to hype you up, and then
they're manipulating the audience.
Each episode, you have to wait a year to see the next part of it.
Well, they're manipulating the audience. Maybe there is no second episode yet, but if people like it and the trends hit a certain thing, maybe we'll get to write the second part.
And we'll bring some of it into the movies. This is what they did with the comics for years.
That's right.
Because it's a cheap way to feel the story idea. See what the people say about it. You tweak, and then by the time you're done tweaking, it's a movie.
I honestly think there's a lot of that going on here. That's why not every narrative thread will be tapped into when they go live action, I don't think. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It looks like they're like, let's gas him up and see how high we get. This one will work. Yeah, maybe we'll tap that one
really
in live
cool
action.
if they did a zombie Marvel movie. But I
don't think all these high paying actors would come there and spend all that hours in zombie makeup?
Yeah, it don't need to be high paid actors, because they don't talk. The zombies don't talk.
I understand that, but the point is, it would be your Robert Downey Jr.'s and your all of them would have to be there, right? Or what? There'd be just nothing but a big CG fest. Nothing but a huge CG fest.
Their faces all messed up, like noses is off and whatnot, so they don't need any of them. They're just zombies, and they have the power.
We need the people who would be alive, though.
They need the
people who would be alive. Yeah.
Well, okay. But then again, it is an interesting place to go off of. I just don't think that it could, unless it was the main problem. I think that takes you off on a very weird tangent.
Also, because it's
I do
in a
like
different
that
universe, and they show you that these people look different. That it could be anybody. They could hire new people.
You're absolutely right. That narrative thread is absolutely true. They could, in that universe, Iron Man could have been Ironheart the whole time.
Yep, they hire a new person, so they pay him cheap.
100%. Yeah, you could absolutely be right.
Get $500K and being happy with it.
And sit your ass down. All right, so I want to move on to the Hawkeye trailer. What did we think about that?
LeVar, I'll let you start.
You want me to start?
I want you to start, big man.
My thoughts on that.
Hold on. What are you doing here? Anyway,
pause.
Sorry.
That's my thoughts.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Who gives a shit about Hawkeye? You shoot arrows, dude. So what? I don't even watch Arrow. You're worthless.
I love it. I love the hot takes, man. It's good hot takes.
F out of here, dude.
Come
arrows,
on,
bro.
man.
Spin records.
Not everything needs to be. Not everything needs to be all glitz and glamour and all like.
Yeah, I'm with you Arrow for the precise same reason, bro. Archery in the year 2021. F out of here, bro.
What's between your arrows in the day of bullets?
Come on, son.
Oh man, I'm just clowning. No, I'm actually looking forward to seeing this.
Shout out to Jeremy Renner. I'm happy he's getting work. You know?
Yeah, it's interesting to me how they're able to make that world where you have literally like superheroes, and then there's a dude with with a bow and arrow, and somehow they're able to make both very entertaining.
And we just got Black Widow, right?
What's her first name? I should.
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld, great actress. Like everything I've seen her in so far, I've really dug it. You know, and I think they picked a really. If you know anything about her character, they picked a perfect person to play her. Like in the new iterations of her character in the comics, I mean identical. It's almost like they drew her out of it, just like they did with the whole Sam Jackson being life imitating art thing. It's the same kind of deal. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. But in the grand scheme of the MCU big thing, I'm with you, LeVar, man. It's like, do with a bow and arrow. Get the hell out of here. While you got the god of Asgard coming thundering up places, and you got a bow and arrow.
How do you feel
Everybody's shooting at you? Imagine more than one person is shooting at you at a time, and you got arrows.
Yeah, right.
But the arrows are dangerous. See, he's saying don't use this one, use that one, because the arrow explodes. Look at that.
Oh, word.
I love it.
Look, they're spinning around and shooting arrows in unison. Man.
And all the while, where's Thor? Like, fly in and just save him. That's what I want. Like, this whole thing should start, and there should be danger and action, and the car explodes. And then Thor just shows up and goes, "Why didn't you call me?" And then just picks up the car, puts it down. Like, get out of here with your bow and arrow, bro. What you here for? What you here for with your dumbass bow and arrow?
Avenger.
Why don't you go like play with some gamma radiation? Well, yeah, at least Black Widow had some like real skills to her.
Useless, bro.
I'm
sorry, I'm dying. Man. Yeah, you hating, man. You absolutely hating.
You have people who are bulletproof, who can fly, who
exactly
can shoot electricity.
But you can say the same thing about Batman. Oh, here we go. You can say the same thing about.
But he bankrolls the whole thing. So it doesn't matter. Shut up. You wouldn't have no base in outer space or none of this shit if it wasn't for me. Shut the F up.
I know a lot of people gonna really hate this conversation.
I'm just saying, man.
Oh, man. Oh, we going back to the Matrix?
No. I just have some trailers on in the background. Let's see if we don't get to DC in there.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah, I've watched this thing countless times. I can tell you how many beard hairs Neo has on the screen. No, I'm just
yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. Joe Smith. It feels like Marvel's Die Hard, and it takes place during Christmas time. He's delivering those
the Christmas theme is great.
Man,
you know,
Bruce Willis
Disney's
type
great
line.
with that.
Like,
play it again.
That works for me, man.
No, me too. I'm excited to see it. Like, I've always thought the idea of Hawkeye, specifically how Hawkeye is drawn and how his character has been put together, is a little bit ridiculous. Like, you know, you have been among gods. Give him a godly weapon. You know, he has really good aim. Give him an arrow from Asgard or something that makes his value to the team more than his human skills, which clearly do not measure up to gods. Right?
Yeah.
Give him a special bow and arrow. Give him a single arrow that can change based on what he needs or something.
We've been to space and we've seen all this other stuff. You can't expect me to be hyped about somebody shooting arrows.
Exactly. So there has to be a more higher level hook in my opinion.
This is where I disagree with all of you.
Okay,
you can disagree. That's my opinion.
Cool. And I'm about to tell you my opinion, buddy.
Here's where you're wrong, but I'm right there.
Tell us why you're wrong.
Go ahead, Mr. Everborn.
I think that when all you have to rely on are kind of spectacle, and you don't I think the MCU has been so successful because they focus on characters. Because if all the glitz and glamour wasn't there, you would still want to spend time with these characters.
Sure, yeah. And that's no doubt.
Yeah. And nothing proves that model by not having to go to space and being in a regular setting if the character is worthy.
People digging it. Yes. Yeah, no, I get that. I hear you, but you can still you can both like the character, and I like the character, and I'm looking forward to seeing the show. You can both like the character and still say among the team he plays with, he's the weakest link. and it's very visible. Like it kind of makes it a little funny
Jeremy
to the
Renner
point
is
where
Jeremy Renner's no Scarlett Johansson either in terms of charisma on screen.
Exactly. So to the point where they were even making jokes like he was retiring. Remember in some of the movies, and he should have retired because he's a man among gods. Even the other movie made fun of him. You know, does he pop aspirin after he has a big fight? You know, that's the only thing that's the only critique that I'm making here in this MCU. Because they're so quote unquote grounded in human, like you can see the actors and the humans and all that. In the comic books, they're able to thread that needle a bit better. You know, Shang-Chi, all of them, they're able to do it a little bit better, right? Look at Shang-Chi. What does he have? The rings, right? It feels like in this MCU verse, to keep Renner more relevant among his peers, they should have given him something or emphasized something for him, and they've never done it. He's always just kind of been the second class, you know.
The only reason he was ever there was just so when they did Civil War, they could shoot Ant-Man off his arrow. That's the only reason.
You honestly think that way back when they started this whole thing, they're like, one day we're gonna shoot Ant-Man off of his arrow.
Yep.
So that's why he's come on.
I
don't give him that much credit.
Yes. What other reason do they have for him to be there? That was literally the coolest thing. And
because at the beginning of it, they took a bunch of B-class Marvel characters, Iron Man included.
Okay,
they really made a joke out of him in Ultron where they said, "I'm here, a guy with a bow and arrow. None of this makes any sense."
Yeah, you know, they always do that.
All right, so I think that. I think it looks good. I think you are discounting why Marvel is so successful. Because if it was all about the spectacle, then DC would be above Marvel right now, right? It is bigger than that, and we don't realize it because the spectacle is there. But it is all first and foremost about character. That's all. It's not about the powers. It's not about any of that stuff. It is character. And
no, I don't disagree with that. I don't. You know, but what I'm saying is your thoughts on it does not counteract my idea that even though it's all about character, yes, you're right, and we can still hang out and have a beer with them even if they had no powers, and you're right there as well. But when you're in that place where you have that Avengers moment, he sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's becoming more and more and more apparent. That's all I'm saying. So,
here's the thing. I think that I think none of that matters. I think if you can do Black Widow, it all.
Which was trash, by the way, too. Hot garbage.
I did
pretty good at the box office.
I disagree with that. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
It's Marvel. Yeah. It's going to sell, but we'll see what happens with Eternals.
That is a risk. I will be honest with you on that.
I want to move on to our final topic of the evening. And I'm bringing back this title.
Okay.
Oh.
Netflix releases new He-Man show about He-Man.
About He-Man. Oh, no.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
So does that mean that everybody's happy now? And all the problems that people had before, all the issues that people had before, and they're complaining about all the social justice BS. Now He-Man's on the shoe. They're finally resolved. There's no issues, right?
People still big mad. Tila black.
Of course.
Holy shit.
Tila's black now. How the hell is he black? How's she black? What the hell's going on?
They big mad.
They changed all the shit.
How much dislikes?
Although Kevin Smith's at home going, oh, thank God. These can get off my fucking.
People begging for the Kevin Smith show back now.
All right. Now, I think that I thought it was great. I thought they didn't make Adam no punk. I appreciated that.
Predator was not a punk.
Neither was Adam. Adam was out there saving people and swinging.
But here's my question: Why is Adam not being a punk? Exactly. Why is Adam not being a punk a thing? Adam has never been a punk. Blonde hair, blue eyed, no punk. Like he should be a punk for once. Like what's good?
He wants them to think that he's scared, but he's
never been a punk.
He's never been a punk.
Cool. It was just nice.
Don't let him shine.
And the pink shirt and purple loincloth.
Underwear.
Don't let them fool you. Yeah, the loincloths and stuff. Don't let that fool you.
No, but I think that I think it's well done. I think the scope is there. It's definitely
How many
more
episodes have you seen?
Kid focused. I've seen the first episode before this show.
And I've seen the full 2, and I think you're 2.5, right, LeVar?
Yes.
Okay, so we will come back to this topic, I suspect, once we've seen
all
all of them.
Episodes after we get off of this.
Right after the podcast, he's going to binge the rest. Nah, but no, I think it's a very interesting way where they're taking it. I have questions about what people will think about certain changes they've made to the storyline and certain decisions that they've made. I will say I do smell some disingenuous blood in the water with people not giving the same level of energy to certain decisions that have been made, whereas Kevin Smith had to run out of town for some months just to get the heat off his ass for what he did. I think certain decisions were made here as well that should warrant the same level of question. But so far, everybody's been, he's He-Man. He's got the sword. So
I don't think everybody happy. People hate this show. If you go by the dislikes on the trailer.
Well, the very first thing, right before you showed, the very first thing that when me and Everbone were talking about it, first thing, I was like, they're going to start complaining that Teela's black, right? And what's the first thing you said when you came in?
Yeah.
People complain that Teela's black. So there you go. At least that is you can set your clock to it. Very very reliable. Certain people.
I'm trying to see the amount. I mean, just on one video, I see it's like 18,000 dislikes to 6,000 dislikes. That's not even from the main Netflix account for the trailer for that show.
So they're already flaming it, huh? Well, I guess I stand corrected.
People hated it before it came out. They turned off the comments.
They hated this new one.
Yeah,
the new one. Yeah.
Well, see, that's why you ninjas can't have nothing, man. It's a night. It reminds me of Rebels or in Clone Wars and Bad Batch in terms of art style and just like if you look. I
actually will say it does it a little bit better, and I'm a big Clone Wars and Bad Batch fan. But when you look at this, the first thing I said was, "Yo, that video game is gonna be ill." I know there's a game coming. Come on now. They literally even in the middle of it, they telegraph themselves.
This is great. It's great adventure. It's great to watch with the kids. Again, it's a very sort of Saturday morning cartoon tone. Yeah. But
they're on the edge a little bit. They're talking death and stuff. They got swords out and stabbing people and whatnot.
This is what I'm saying. It's good, fun action, man.
Oh no, I agree. I completely agree. I do. I
get it. I think we lost you, Kay.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, we lost him. Oh no, you're back. You're back.
Was I gone?
No, you froze.
Oh, my bad.
It was crazy.
Oh.
So I don't know, man. I'm digging the changes that they made. I think they make sense, right? Yeah. I like what
even Black Teela.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, what's the problem? What's the problem?
Listen,
right?
You got to cry to white Jesus about it. Listen, the thing is this. I just think, this is kind of, if you watch the She-Ra show, right? And the age group they were going for, this is you can see this is fertile ground for storytelling. I love that the Masters of the Universe IP is getting all this love what's going on? What kind of Voltron stuff is this?
Yeah, the freaking Power Rangers, bro.
She's the new some of this stuff, man.
Oh no, I didn't. This wasn't in the
There's
first.
Some spoilers up in here. The spoilers in here. Yeah.
No, I'm here for it.
They're going tech star. What do you call it? Power Rangers.
Oh man,
spoiler, I like the way they implemented technology is a little bit.
Oh no,
this is a young Man at Arms.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Man at Arms being like that.
Duncan.
Yeah, it's kind of weird for me. He's supposed to have a beard and things. Oh, he's Iron Man. Okay.
Yeah, look, he's basically Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah, he still has his club.
Everybody's all right.
They're the Masters of the Universe.
They're all leveling up. Yeah.
Nah, this is. I'm here for all of this.
Girl, is she supposed to be Ram Man?
Yeah, who is she supposed to be?
Because she
hits everything with her head, right? So she's Ram Man.
Ram Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
they gender swapped her. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works. It works.
She hits
Cool.
everything with her head. Yeah, sure.
It's cool.
And
Listen,
Cringer,
man.
yeah, he gets his tail.
He got Wolverine claws.
So hold up. Are they saying that this is the? Are they saying that this is the power of Grayskull turning them all, or each of them get their own thing?
I mean,
Oh,
I guess
no,
so. We'll have to watch how it plays out, but it's much different than the original show.
Yeah, oh yeah, they've changed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Look at that. You got the Wolverine claws.
No, this is nice. This is
I don't know about y'all, but this video is very choppy for me. But I'm still watching. Now, y'all, is it smooth for you?
To me, it's choppy, but at least it's letting me see it in slow motion and things that
Let me see. Yes. I appreciate it. Yes, indeed.
Oh man.
So are you actually like watching the show here? What are you doing?
No. This is just a trailer that Netflix released
this is a trailer?
a couple hours ago.
See, I don't appreciate like all this.
This is like
imagine if you didn't see any of this and you showed this like in the show. Like, come on now. They're basically just like
all right,
mad spoilery.
Well,
that's unfortunate.
There we go. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm all the way here for it. Is all I'm saying.
Oh no, we're definitely 100%. We're watching this.
Well,
that's for sure. All of us, we're watching it.
It has 7,000 likes and 18,000 dislikes. This comments turned off on this.
So you know they're doing something right.
Oh, that's crazy, man. That's
right.
That's crazy. Well, guess what? I will be watching every episode of that show.
Indeed, as will I. Yep.
All right. I think that's all the topics we had. I think we're out of topics today, gentlemen.
Well, look at that. We actually struck gold quite quick. Look at you. Yeah, very nice.
Right. Nice clean hour. Also, it's a very slow news week, so that does factor into it. So
have you heard the rumor that DC is so confident with what do you call it? The Flash that they're already thinking about making a new one before the first one's shown up?
I did hear that, and I also heard that Grace Randolph has a blood feud with Jessica Chastain.
Let's not start there. Oh my god, that's another hour conversation. Right, really? And how about what Villeneuve said about Marvel movies?
Oh, you know what? That's what we're gonna end on. Okay,
we could go off on that for a little bit.
So Mr. Denis Villeneuve, right? I've noticed this about him. He likes to run his mouth, right? And he's been doing this for quite some time. To run their mouth. Nah, but he ain't earned the right to run his mouth yet, right? When Christopher Nolan
metric?
Did he make any studios any money?
But that's a terrible metric. Come on, money's not the only metric that matters. No. Are you okay? Hold on. I will just ask you one question before I allow you to go off, and you're allowed to go off anywhere you want because I completely agree with you in this conversation. Okay? Will you deny?
Right.
I agree that you're right, but will you deny that his last movie, what do you call it, Blade Runner 2020 wasn't a masterpiece?
And it was a box office failure for the studio.
I don't give a flying fudge if it was if every plebe on earth did not see it. Was it, in your opinion, a masterpiece?
The best movie that year, yes.
Thank you. Now you can go ahead and ravage the man all you want. I just need it to be established that the man has his uses. It's just maybe not in the realm of the pockets.
Are you done?
You know what I'm saying?
Are you done?
Go ahead.
Are you done tap dancing for Mr. Villeneuve? Okay. Now,
because he made a great movie. Now go ahead.
He made a great movie in Blade Runner 2049. It cost
amazing film.
$200+ million.
And that's their problem that they did not get that money.
And it's their problem. But what did that studio do? Who he lost hundreds of millions of dollars? They turned around and gave him another $250 million.
So again, it's not his problem. If you want to give Loudmouth not making you any money, auteur who makes genius movies all your money.
I was there with him. I was there with them. Cool.
Until he opened his mouth and started talking shit.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Right? You're not in the position to be talking
that smack.
So what he did, right, was during the pandemic when nobody knew what was going on, when AT&T was in dire straits because they finally went through all of this to buy Warner Brothers only for theaters to get shut down when they was trying to make a return on investment. So they make the HBO Max decision. I'm not saying it wasn't a ham-fisted decision that they should have talked to their talent about first. But what I am saying is he went and badmouthed the entire studio, calling their streaming service the worst streaming service of them all in a world where Quibi was released. You call HBO Max
technically, and I will, every time Quibi is mentioned, I will preface that I used to work for the company
but you don't anymore.
Eventually, I don't anymore.
Okay.
Quibi was trash. It was not a streaming service. It was for phones when you're on the bus. It was meant for quick bites. That's what Quibi means. Quick.
Fantastic. You also had CBS Now and all of that other stuff. And you call HBO Max the worst one from the studio who you
but
lost.
He is French. He is French. They are allowed to basically insult everybody.
You lost the studio all this money, and they took another chance on you financially, and then you're gonna go and badmouth them again,
bro.
When in fact,
a fool and their dough is split. Like a fool and his money are separated.
All that's great, but here's my problem, right? It's not even that he was bad mouthing them. That's fine. They can have, it doesn't matter. But what I don't
He's
like,
bad mouthing Disney output.
No. We'll come to that in a second. I'm setting the stage for why I don't mess with this guy. Okay. So I think the director is the captain of the ship, and the captain should go down with the ship if it sinks. But he did not want to do that. What he wants to do is blame everything that happens with the film back on the studio because of HBO Max. And guess what? There's a reason, right? There's a reason that no one who has been able to bring Dune to the big screen in any meaningful way, because the content is very dense.
Yeah, it's one of those impossible to translate things.
It is not really translatable to broad audiences, just like Blade Runner 2049. And I do agree with Joe Smith. One could. I think Joe Smith makes a very interesting point. Roger Deakins does deserve all the credit.
The cinematography was on point. Yes, true.
Right,
and he did get his award for it too.
Right. So, apart from the film looking beautiful, all the characters were basically stoics. It's like
there was substance there. If you're a Blade Runner fan, like I have the director's cut of Blade Runner. You know, the crazy. I have watched so many versions of Blade Runner. I thought it was a very
watch Blade Runner.
No, Blade Runner 2049 was great. But I
thought it was a very good addition to the Blade Runner franchise.
Absolutely. No, it was great. You don't know what you're talking about. But my point, my point is, like
he says while wearing his glasses,
there is an obligation, I think, anyway. If you are going to take a multi-$100 million budget, you have to produce a 4-quadrant movie. Denis Villeneuve does not do that, and Warner Brothers, being an Artur studio, said, "So what? We believe in the art and the content. We are going to give you the money." No one else would have done that. No one. You think Disney would have done that shit? You think Universal would have done that shit? Who makes Fast and the fucking Furious? No, Warner Brothers did that. And then you got the nerves to badmouth them. Right? And Warner Brothers, you know what else Warner Brothers did in a pandemic? They said, "Hey, citizens, we don't want you to risk your life.
So y'all can watch all those movies
day and day." And guess what? We're not going to gouge you $30 each for these same.
And we're also going to pay our talent for all the movies that
we're going to pay Patty Jenkins. We're going to pay the producers that we bought Godzilla versus Kong from. We're going to do all of that.
They did the right thing. And what did that lead them to? Basic bankruptcy and selling off of the company.
And you still got to talk shit about them, saying they got the worst. What a scumbag! Now,
does that mean you're not going to watch Dune?
I hope that movie flops.
It is going to flop. You don't have to hope it's going to flop.
Oh, you ain't got to hope it. It's 100% going to flop. 100%.
So 100%. Now,
and by the way, the problem you had with today's episode of What If, be prepared.
Oh, and
Dune is so that. The entire movie is the first half when it goes up the cliff. He meets and this is all, speculation. He meets, he's been, like, if you follow the books, he's going to be thinking about her the whole time. She's going to narrate the whole thing. It's already in the trailer. The time they meet is basically the end of the film. So all of the meat and potatoes of the movie will be the next one if they choose to give him another couple of $1 million to make the
next one. Why?
Almost like meeting Luke at the end of episode 7, but we're not going to go there. But anyway,
we're not going to go into that one. Yeah.
All right. So the point is, the reason Star Wars, even though it took a lot of cues from Dune, the reason Star Wars succeeded where Dune sort of failed is because they took somewhat of the premise and made it into a 4-quadrant film that more audiences could digest. And Denis Villeneuve has no interest in that, and I respect that, and I respect Warner Brothers for allowing him to do that with a tentpole film. Now it comes to his comments where, like clockwork, when somebody has a movie to promote, they just take the pre-canned shit talk about the MCU so they can get eyes on their project. So Denis, run his mouth, Villeneuve, is over here talking about
run them jewels in your mouth.
He doesn't like the MCU because it's too much of the same copy and paste movies.
Yeah.
Right? Never mind the fact that there are many different genres within the MCU. Never mind the fact that the MCU is a tapestry, a milieu, if you will, in which to tell.
And never mind the fact that in the world where the goal of this whole thing is to make money, you make nothing. Shut your mouth, sir.
Right? And again, here's the thing. It's just a part of everybody's marketing campaign because everybody, look, we're talking about it right now. We're talking about Dune. Everybody gets mad, and then more people will go to hate watch the movie, the Marvel zombies, and then the so-called cinephiles will go and watch the movie so they can say this is so much better than that MCU garbage, and now more people are watching. I just think it's real low for somebody who is, guess what, making a tentpole film that they're selling pop toys for to go and talk about somebody else.
And you know what Disney's going to do about
eyeballs on your project.
You know what Disney's going to do about it? They're going to be laughing all the way to the bank, and then when Dune flops, they go, we might give you a project if you apologize, because when Dune flops, I don't think they're gonna get another opportunity to bite that apple.
Send Kevin Feige out there and give him a pinky ring.
That's right. That's right. Just go and do one of these things. Indeed, do one of those things. Right.
Copy and paste. You say? How about you make something different?
Yep. How about you come and copy paste for us, sir? Huh? How about that? How about you put your name to the next copy paste there, good sir?
So I've ranted long enough, LeVar. What do you think?
No, it was a valid rant, I think.
I have no interest in seeing the movie. When he talks shit about Marvel, I have even less interest in seeing the movie. That's exactly what I said in the group chat. I already didn't want to see his shit, but fuck that guy. Fuck his whole movie.
He makes great movies. He's Mr. Run His Mouth too much. You know what this? Unless you have another point to add, I want to pivot to Christopher Nolan's latest deal where he got all the money. Because guess what? When Christopher Nolan talks smack, he can back it up because he's made the studio's money every time.
Although you really disliked his last output, right?
I didn't dislike it. I do think he's
you called it trash.
I think he called it trash. I said he was smelling his own farts. I didn't say I didn't like.
Which means you called it trash.
No, I called his comments trash. But if you have anything to add, if you don't, I'll move on.
No. Go ahead. Move on.
I just want people to understand this deal that he did. Now, Christopher Nolan has never made a non-Warner Brothers film. Not like, since he's come onto the scene, right? He has been a company man his entire career, and Warner Brothers was in the Christopher Nolan business. They've given him big budgets to make complex action films, which no one can make but him.
And then Tenet came out, and is it Tenet that led him to leave?
Well, I'm coming to that, right? Tenet came out, and he did not like the idea that Warner Brothers was gonna because him and Quentin Tarantino, very big proponents of theater, right? People going to the theater.
I remember that
and
whole thing. Yeah.
He wants to preserve the theater going experience, and he is afraid of Netflix. He's afraid of any of those guys killing that, right? So and I understand that he's taking a principle. So when the pandemic started and it was killing the movie industry and people were going bankrupt and AMC has to get saved, there was this big fear by the studios. If we don't have the theaters as a distribution channel, what are we going to do? We need to be in streaming. Netflix is doing it. Disney was successful at doing it. We got to get this
all the
there.
different services. Yeah.
Right. So, but this is against everything Christopher Nolan believes. And he went to Warner Brothers and said, "You're not going to do that shit with my movie." And so they gave it this big theatrical release, damned the people that are dying all over the world and getting sick.
And it farted all over the place.
Well, it didn't. It made 300 and something million in the heart of the pandemic. That is actually very good.
Which is a flop.
Like no, that is a movie don't make $1 billion. It's a flop.
No. That's absolutely not true.
Even within the pandemic, I think that wasn't that a bad number.
How much was the budget?
No, it wasn't. I don't know, 100 and something million.
Hasn't what do you call it? Fast and Furious been the only one that has broken?
Yeah, but that's like post vaccine. Christopher Nolan's movie was during the vaccine.
So we have pre-vaccine and post-vaccine. Okay, yes. I get you.
Right. So again, this is when there was nothing open. No one, like, people were scared for their lives. Nobody knew what was going on.
Yep.
That movie actually did.
Let them kill themselves. I need them in theaters.
Exactly. And it couldn't even play in the United States for a very long time. Right. It was only able to play here because the theaters were closed. It was only able to play here for a couple of weeks before going to PVOD. So, but Christopher Nolan, he got what he wanted. His movie stayed for the normal window, but everybody else. So he said, in my position, because I can do what I want in the industry, because I've delivered time after time, and no Warner Brothers has never lost money on me, right? So he goes out and he says, he talks about HBO Max and how it's terrible and all of that. And Denis Villeneuve, who is budget Christopher Nolan, but he don't make no money, hopped on the bandwagon. Right?
Budget Christopher Nolan.
I said it. Somebody prove me wrong. Right?
Well, he can't be budget Christopher Nolan. Some of his budgets rival Nolan's. Some of his budgets that he's been given rival Nolan's. Now the output.
Exactly. His movies also they don't play to as large of an audience. Because the thing about Christopher Nolan's movies, okay, Denis Villeneuve's movies, you watch them, you're like, this is smart. Christopher Nolan movies make you feel smart. For some reason, it's weird when you watch them. So,
unless you're watching Tenet when you feel stupid because you don't understand most of the way through.
It's too much. Because he finds a gimmick, right? And then he kind of and thinks that idea
way too much.
Right, exactly. So the idea is he does that, and he says he doesn't want to work with Warner Brothers anymore, and nobody believed it. So when he started pitching his next project, which is about one of the gentlemen that was instrumental in developing the atomic bomb and it going wrong or getting away from him, that's his next film. And now he was pitching it to different studios. And it was kind of like, obviously everybody wants to be in the Christopher Nolan business because he don't miss.
So are you saying that Warner Brothers just was like, nope, not this time?
No. Warner Brothers offered him a bunch of money, but he
didn't want to work with them.
It's not that. He came with a bunch of crazy demands. Now, his demands were, hey, I want 20% of first dollar sales. That means I want the gross. That is you pay me money. I don't care how much you lost on it. Of the ticket sales, I want 20%.
Yeah, because you know why? He sees the tea leaves. He doesn't want anybody else to put his stuff on streaming. It could happen again. So give me the cut. Yeah.
So he wants 90-day. I think it was 120-day guarantee theatrical run before you can move it anywhere. As the industry at large is moving to a 45-day window, he wants 120 days.
See, and I can respect all of that, but because of everything that's going on, I tell that dude to just shut up and go home and go smell his own farts. Come on.
Hold on a minute now.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, 20% first dollar sales, 90-day theatrical window, and there's one other crazy demand he made.
He wants only green Skittles.
Right.
Make sure you get the bag, separate them all. Only the green ones. The blue ones go to my mother.
Universal.
What are we doing here?
Universal agreed to it, and so this will be his first film that is not from Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Right?
And what did Warner Brothers go? Oh no.
No, that's not. I mean, hey, listen, they're going through their thing right now. I'm sure money's tight.
Yeah, they don't really care right now. At this point, they don't want to hand Nolan the bag. Forget about it.
Right. And so now Universal is in the Christopher Nolan business, and we will see if it pays off. Because he is really going down. His films are getting very it's his own genre at this point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. So, but I said all of this.
Do you think there's a world in which he will ever work on a superhero movie in the ilk of Batman? Yeah. Do you think he'll ever take a property and go, Marvel, I want to take, I don't know,
a
character that hasn't been explored?
I don't think he would do a Marvel movie, only because if he does a movie, I'm not saying he won't do another superhero movie, although I doubt he will. If he does it, you have to basically say, give me in full control of the character. I want to tell this story. I don't care what plans you have for them.
Yeah, I don't think Feige
unless you're going to
ride with that.
Come on, Feige will spit in his face. What do you mean?
Yeah, Feige will say, "Nah, don't worry. We have some film school students that right over there that we can."
Right. Yeah. You're Christopher Nolan. That's cute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who do you think you are? So that's the thing there. But I said all of this. I brought up Christopher Nolan because I think he deserves that. Why? Because he's a household name. He has these loyal fans where he's one of the few directors where you can point to their name and it will put butts in the seats. It's not about the IP. This is why he creates his own things. He doesn't do his movies generally, except for Batman, don't have sequels. He's not working off of existing work. He's not reimagining things.
He's one of the rare, you have your Tom Cruises. Their work brings butts in seats generally. Denzel, the butts and seats generally. The old ilk. I get that. Yeah.
So again, he deserves that, right? He deserves to write his own rules because he's putting the work. Denis Villeneuve is on the come. You are no Christopher Nolan, sir. You can't make those demands.
He's not.
You can't make those demands. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. So we will see how Dune plays out. I will be there. I will be watching it. But
how will you see it, good sir? That's a good question. That is the question of 2020. 2021. How will you be watching this, good sir?
I'm watching that on HBO Max.
For real?
Yes.
That worm is too big for your 65-inch black OLED. That worm needs to be seen in IMAX, bro.
The next movie I'm seeing in the theater is The Matrix.
So Dune, not even Eternals.
Maybe I'll rent the theater. Maybe I'll rent the theater for it, but probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
But in The Matrix,
Eternals when it comes out.
Yeah, why not?
If nothing else, for the show anyway.
Yeah. No, I'll go see that. If I saw Shang-Chi, which I do not.
Yeah, I got to see it in Yonkers because they don't require the vaccination here to go to the movies
yet. All right. So
okay.
Well, all right. Mm-hmm. So we I think on that note we will call it an evening right around 10:00. Thank you everybody that's still in the chat. Please give this thing a thumbs up and tell your friends about it. This was a slow news day. We normally got a lot more going on, but it was a nice fun chat about He-Man and all these other things. And Denis Villeneuve is an ingrate. But anyway.
Yeah, but real quick, before we continue this, I'm looking in here and I'm like, remember we had this conversation about, we'll never get part 2? He's already in pre-production in part 2. And he's got a TV show that he's already directing.
I heard about that.
With a pilot episode coming.
For HBO Max.
The man has threaded the needle quite well. So you are definitely getting part 2. It's already in pre-production. I was like, they're going to leave you on a cliffhanger. And right?
No. Well,
I
here's the
thought they were going to
problem.
leave you on a
But they can pull
cliffhanger
the plug at
at any time.
They did it to Zack Snyder, right? Like because
he was in
if you
pre-production.
want it to come out in any fashionable whatever, they have to start pre-production like before the first one drops, just so if you want to get it out in the next 3 years, right? One other thing to note, there was an article that came out that said Warner Brothers promised him a sequel. They promised to consider not just the box office, but also the HBO Max streams, like meaning does it bring in new subs, and if it does, then they'll greenlight the sequel. So
okay, but
we'll
but
see how
you think
goes.
you think that's how they would always approach that, being that you're splitting your
but they
theater audience.
Probably just wanted to make an article about like a news item about it, so that they don't say safe face.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. So, Mr. K. Asante, tell the fine folks where they can find you, sir.
Oh, sure. You can find me TKO Asante on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, wherever you happen to game at. That's where you can reach out to me, have a conversation. Let's spark up a game or something like that. Otherwise, you can find me Saturdays, 10 o'clock usually, Eastern Standard, on the Gaming Circle podcast, where we similar to this format, we try and have guests from time to time, and we talk about the stuff that's going on in gaming, and it's usually fun. We try to stick a nice 2 hours, but I think our limit has been 4 once actually. Yeah. So yes, it's always slanderous, always crazy. It's always crazy in that thing, but we have fun and we enjoy ourselves. So please,
I suspect this weekend could be a very interesting show.
Oh, if only. I'm holding out hope. Please let it happen before Saturday. Come on now. Anyways,
if that news that we think is going to drops tomorrow,
blows,
just cancel your whole day. We might be doing a 12-hour stream.
Good God, it'll be something else. But yes, catch us there. This Saturday is going to be interesting one way or another. But yes, catch us on the Gaming Circle. And how about you there, Mr. Everborn?
Well, no, let's go to Mr. Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Johnson, please.
Hey, listen, hold on a minute. Before you tell us where they can find you, we need to get you more active on Twitter. I think it is like the best place to grow your brand and find a community around the stuff that you are interested in, and we can do some of these other things. I'm telling you, it is there. I'm down the Twitter rabbit hole, so to speak. And just hit 1,000 followers, and I thank everybody that shares my stuff. And everybody's been really supportive of the comic and these shows and everything else. And they share it out. That's you. If you're talking about those views, they came from Twitter. I'm telling you that right now.
In the good tradition of naming and shaming, we also have to call out Mr. Everborn Saga for always waiting so damn late to announce this show's happening. So it's really difficult to market it and have people join. It shouldn't be the second before the show starts. It should be a day beforehand so that people can know that's happening and maybe promote it.
Oh, burn.
TKO was starting my ass. Go ahead.
That's zesty.
I see you. The spice mines of Arrakis is going on.
This spice. Get out of here. Continue. Right. Go ahead.
Mr. Johnson, tell the people where they can find you. So.
Yeah, you can find me at LeVar F. Johnson on all platforms. Not that I'll be on social media, but if you're looking for me, I'm there sometimes.
Send him a message, man. Let's get this guy active. Let's get this guy some followers and get him.
Show those videos of all of the action figures. Like put that out there. Cares. It is great.
No, you
would be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Listen, action figure Twitter is almost as big as Black Twitter, but not as big as the Beehive though. But all right, so you can find me at Everborn Saga everywhere. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, all that stuff. But most importantly, everbornsaga.com, where we just released this Prince of Arcadia Chapter 4. This is the end of the Battle at Wildwood Gate arc of the story. So if you want to know who wins that battle, it happens in this chapter. So check out everbornsaga.com, and we have something coming new soon.
Netflix, pick it up.
Listen, man. Hey, just make sure you don't. Existence. Yeah, and don't race bend the wolves.
Everborn is the future.
right? But we will be at Comic-Con in October, so that's a big deal. I just got all my merch set up. We got some new t-shirts designs coming, so check us out, man. everbornsaga.com, and we will be back at you next week. Hopefully the Hollywood world has more going on next week, and we're out of here.